We live, we live, we live, we live, we live. What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and it's time for Hits and Heels. And so, if you all are tuning in for the very first time for Hits and Heels, I am Coach Terry Bryant. I am a football coach, like a tackle football coach for middle school and for women's tackle football here in Lexington, Kentucky. And so football is my first love, but never had the opportunity to play growing up. And we didn't have a lot of opportunities for girls coming up at my era to play football. And so I connected with someone via one of my great friends, Mrs. Monique Smith, who is a powerhouse in the sports athletic community. And I have Mrs. Maria Barber on today, and she owns her own flag football league for women
Yes.
and girls. And I'm so I had to have her on because we just completed our my women's team just completed our season. We lost in the semifinals. But championship weekend is in Canton on the 29th, and I still may go to the because I do have some of my players that made the All-American team, and I
Oh,
might go
nice,
support
nice.
them. And so listen, so what we are gonna do is we're gonna bring Maria on. Her business is called Baller's Choice Sports. I love that BallHers. Y'all get that BallHers? Yeah, I like that. And she's gonna just describe. Maria, first of all, welcome. Thank you for
Thank
agreeing to
you.
even come on because you said you don't even do no live. You don't do anything live like this. So I appreciate you having the guts and the courage to be able to come on and let's talk about your story. So what, girl, start from the beginning. I got your
Okay,
bio, and of course you're absolutely fantastic.
thank you.
So just start from the beginning on what led you to actually creating a women's and a girls flag football league.
Okay, so I will absolutely start from the beginning, but thank you for having me on the show. And I will say we do a live show, but I'm usually not in the hot seat. I'm usually the one asking questions, so this is a good role reversal. But yes, I am Maria Lachelle, owner of Baller's Choice Sports in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I was actually introduced to flag football in 2016 by a personal trainer at the time. One day he said to me, "So, what do you think about women playing football?" And I said, "Well, do I look like I play football?" And he said, "No, no, 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 no. It's women of all shapes and sizes." I'm like, "Seriously, women are playing football?" And so he invited me to a practice. And when I went to the practice and I experienced it, I immediately fell in love. It was so empowering to see the women, in their flags and uniform and just practicing and being so athletic. And as a person who was never an outside girl, it was really exhilarating. And so at that time, I definitely was not interested in playing because I'm too tender for all of that. I still tell them that. But I started going to the games every week. And eventually he asked me to become the league secretary. So I worked as a league secretary for 3 years. So from the day I started to 3 years later, I was pretty much running the league behind the scenes, doing the schedule, communicating with the coaches and the players. I even learned how to line the field, putting cones out, making sure the referees ate and got paid. And so it really became a part of my life. And then as time progressed, COVID hit. And with COVID, that really shook the entire world. And I decided to just kind of step away from flag football because it had basically taken over my life. Every Sunday, every week, loading stats, all these different things just really had taken over my life. So I decided to take a break. Well, during that break, I was asked to work on the national level, which meant going to nationals in Florida, in Orlando, which we call it the Super Bowl of flag football. But we have teams from all around the world as many as 600 teams from all over coming to play flag, and I would help with field operations and things like that. But during all of this time, I realized that just about all of the coaches, all of the directors, everybody, it was all men. It was a male dominated industry, but we had all these women playing football. So typically I was the only girl. And as the only girl, of course, the players talked to me. They vented to me about what they wanted to see, what they different. And last year, I really got to a point where I wanted to see something different for the ladies. And I stepped in to take over one league at the beginning of the year. But it's different when you are not the owner, right? And I
Mm.
just decided as the owner that I could be responsible from top to bottom for my organization. Because stepping in as commissioner of another league, I was still subject to somebody else, still, having to deal with all of their decisions, deal with all of their paperwork and all those things. So I was actually at the airport on my way to Iceland, filing my paperwork for BallHers Choice Sports in March of 2023. And of course, March is the month of the woman. So I decided I'm going to start my own. I can make it look how I want it to look, do whatever I wanted to do because it is mine. And the journey started there. And what I wanted to do was, like I said, I wanted to see a certain product. And I knew if I was going to see it, I had to create it. And so I started my first season with 7 teams. And it was very challenging to come from behind the scenes to being the leader of so many people, having to deal with the coaches directly, having to be the one to reserve the field, being the one to find the officials, making sure they get paid. It was a lot stepping from behind the scenes. But I was up for the challenge because I knew it was something that the players needed. They needed something different. And I think as a woman, I brought a different perspective to the table. For example, I refuse to use a field that does not have bathrooms
Of
because
course.
I personally will not use a porta potty.
Absolutely.
Personally. And if you are a woman with children, you don't want to have to take your child to the porta potty. Now, of course, our diehard athletes, they make it happen, but why make them make that choice? So just one example of the perspective that I bring as a woman. So I had my first season with 7 teams. Second season, we had another league in the area, so teams kind of chose between the two. So I had 5 teams. Well, this past season, I had 11 teams, nearly 300 players, over 16 coaches, mostly men. And it was an amazing season. Again, we are in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I already have teams prepared for the fall season. I'm just like, wait a minute, y'all, give me some time, give me a break. Um, and so also in our county, they launched girls flag football in the high schools in February of this year. It was a partnership with the Carolina Panthers. It was a pilot program. So they launched flag with the girls here in Wake County. And then a couple of months ago, they launched it in Durham County. So it's really becoming a thing. And what I realized is who better to teach the next generation of flag football athletes what to do than women who currently play.
Let's
So that's
go.
why, so that's why I created our She Got Game clinics. We had our first girls clinic last year, and we had Madison Fulford, who plays on Team USA, that won the gold last year. I knew her from the flag world, and she came, and coached the girls, and some of our other top athletes came. And so, fortunately, I have a good community of ladies who really want to reach back to help the younger generation, because you need to know what undergarments to wear, what all these different things that we know as women, we need to
If you
teach
don't
that
play
younger
football, you
generation.
don't know because
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. So fortunately, I'm blessed to have a good community of athletes who want to teach this next generation. And even when it launched at the high schools, some of my players were the coaches. through the school system. So that was a pretty dope experience. But my goal is really to empower, encourage, and equip women and girls in sports. That's my goal. And really
That's
to create
it.
to create a platform, because so many people don't know we exist. And they're out there busting their tails every week. They're going to tournaments, they're in the gym, they're doing all these things. And I think they deserve to have the spotlight shined on them or shown on them, whichever the past tense is.
There it is.
But definitely I want to create a platform where people see them. So, I increase the photography. We live stream our games. So I'm looking forward to getting on YouTube soon. But of course, cameras cost money and getting all that stuff together. So we are building, we're still new at this, but I'm looking forward to what the future holds for women in flag football, especially since flag football is going to the Olympics. So all eyes on flag right now. So I'm excited to be a part of the journey and have really create a pathway, because of course people have gone on before me, but I'm happy to be here, right now. I think it's the perfect time.
Absolutely. So the other league that started, was it already there, or did it start because they saw you had started one?
Well, so I said initially I was taking over another league. Well, that one
Okay.
kind of dissipated, but some other coaches, they decided they wanted to start a league as well.
Okay.
So because it was a different way of operating. I do things the way I do things.
Absolutely.
They do things the way they do things. And so, unfortunately, the teams had to choose, because, of course, we're all in the same area, which is a small
Mhm.
area. And I really hate it for the teams to have to choose, but it was their decision. So all I could do was create the best product that I knew how to create and let people make a decision. And this season, basically everyone came to Baller's Choice, which was really great because nobody had to choose. And it really unified our city, really state, to have all the teams come to Baller's Choice. So it's nice for all of us to work together. And I'm actually cool with the other people who had started a
Good.
league. So, we have a good working relationship. And it's just nice for everybody to be able to play together, because everybody knows each other, everybody has a good relationship. So it's nice for everybody to be together and really put North Carolina on the map even more.
I love it. I think one of the things that I like about sports, period, it figures out a way to unify us some kind of
Oh
a way.
yes,
The
yes,
sportsmanship, and I
absolutely.
think that's probably one of the biggest things that I love about sports. And so we have a lot of parallels, because, of course, I coach women's tackle football. We wear full pads, and
Yes,
most of the players on my team came from flag football.
nice.
And so, and that's where they got their start with learning the game, was from flag football.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've transitioned on onto tackle football
Tackle.
with us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. And so of course I'm always on board, because that's going to be our number one recruiting place, is going to be
Yes.
girls and women's flag football leagues,
Mm-hmm.
to bring them to our league in
Yes.
order to play tackle, because you got to
Yes.
be a different, woman to want to play
Oh
tackle
yes,
and again.
absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, so we of course we have a tackle team here in Raleigh as well, called Raleigh Express. And some of my ladies actually play both. And
Okay.
so this season was my first season actually being able to attend the games, because they played close to me. My schedule just worked out. And I actually did the national anthem for all of their home games this season, which was pretty cool. But to actually sit there, because you watching tackle on TV is a little different. But to
Then watching it
actually,
live.
yes, so to actually be in the stands and hear the helmets clanking and all that stuff, it was an exhilarating experience, and I really enjoyed being able to support them, because it's so different as far as the equipment, and it's, oh my God, it's so much longer. than flag games. So, but yeah, you have to definitely be a special kind of person to play tackle. I don't know how they do it, but they love it.
Yeah, my girls love it as well. I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna go to the comments here in a second because I got some of my heavy hitters that are on
Okay.
always supporting me always. So I always want to acknowledge them. I think one of the things that I definitely want to acknowledge is I just learned that there is contact flag.
Yes, my ladies play contact.
Yours play contact.
Yes.
So your league is a contact flag league.
Yes.
So it's just a step under tackle football. You just
Yes.
don't have on all the pads,
Right. And it's
all the
not as
equipment. You
much
have on some
contact.
equipment, but you just don't have
No,
the
no,
helmet
you
and the
only have
shoulder
on the
pad.
flag. You only have on the flag. That's it. So it's not
To me, they're even more braver than
yes,
regular flag football because
yes.
I don't know how y'all play the
So
way
but
y'all
they
play, and
you
it's
can't
contact
tackle though. You cannot tackle
and tackle,
anybody.
but it's
Now,
physical.
it's physical, yes. Yes. So it's definitely not as much contact as tackle, but you cannot come out there expecting not to get touched. Because 'cause my ladies play 8 women.
Okay,
But it's mostly the 5 women non-contact. That's where you
okay.
get a little less contact. But my
hmm
ladies do play contact. I tell people do not come out there
If
expecting
you
powder puff. It is not powder puff football. This is exactly why I'm on the sidelines. Because they try to
that
get me
is
to play. I'm like, no,
hilarious.
thank you. I will not be a lineman. I will not be out there doing anything. I would just make sure y'all got a field to play on. So,
Okay, so when you set up your league, what made you decide between regular flag and contact?
well, contact is all I've known from the first day
Oh,
that I was introduced to flag football. It was contact. It was 8 women
okay.
contact. That was all I knew until I started working at nationals in Florida and started experiencing the other styles. So I'm
hmm
really just getting familiar with 5s and 7s. So like I'm doing a girls high school tournament in a couple of weeks, and those girls will play 7s, and it's non-contact. So I'm
Okay.
really just becoming familiar with the other styles, but 8 women's contact was all that I knew. So that's what made me start 8 women's contact league.
Okay. So I know we have one college here in Kentucky that offers flag
Mhm.
on scholarship. Has does North Carolina have any yet?
So we do have teams that have flag, but it is
Okay.
recreational. But they're not offering scholarships in our area yet. I think you have to reach a certain percentage or a certain number of schools to
hmm
get that. So I know they're working toward it. But like North Carolina Central, they have a flag football team. Winston-Salem State has a flag football team.
Those are all
UNC,
HBCUs, right?
yeah, but UNC Charlotte has flag as well. So I think even Duke University may have a team now, and
Mhm.
so and because they actually played for years, but it's
Mhm.
just really becoming more popular now. Um, but we do not, unfortunately, we are not getting scholarships on this end of the world yet. Not yet. I know it's coming.
Oh, it's coming. I think girls flag football right now, I think is the fastest growing sport right now. And
Absolutely.
that's why I was just so excited about having the opportunity to bring you on so that you could talk about it. Because I've been approached even in my city by 2 different gentlemen that want to start a league here. And so now I'm like, okay, so where do we start? If I want to start a league, where do I start? So we need to, first of all, we got to just decide whether it's going to be contact or non-contact, right?
Exactly.
And then is there a governing entity where you have to get the rules and the regulations, like, or is there like USA Football or
Mhm.
I don't know, NFL has something with flag. Like,
Right.
where
NFL
do you get
flag.
your rules from?
So my league is sanctioned by the United Flag Football League. That's my umbrella.
Okay.
And so we have, and there is another governing body as well, which is USA flag, which is different from USA football.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, so but my umbrella is the
I
United
gotta
Flag
write this
Football
down.
League. Yes, and that's actually because basically when we do league play and do tournaments, the teams get points, and so when we compete at nationals, they get ranked based on those points. And so, because there are some leagues that are not sanctioned, but I chose to sanction because I'm like, what's the point
Oh
of
yeah, yeah, what's the
right?
if
What's
it's
the
not
point?
sanctioned by anything for
Exactly.
them to be able to go to some
Hmm.
type of a postseason and be recognized in a
Exactly.
national postseason.
Exactly. So definitely, we are sanctioned. That is our governing body. That's where we get our rules from. If I have questions or concerns, I'm contacting the higher ups. Like how do I do this? Which way do I go? Because I came into this knowing mostly the administrative side of flag
Hmm.
football.
Right.
But I'm definitely much more familiar with the rules now that I have to enforce them. So, but sometimes I still have questions. And so I definitely, it's very nice to have directors and other people that I can go to above me to get information. So yes.
I love it. So I'm gonna take a quick pause and I'm gonna go to the notes. So Nikki, hey Nikki, thank you for coming on and showing. So Nikki and I are in a women who love football group. It's actually a black women who love football group.
Oh, nice.
And uh, Natasha Gransberry is an NFL agent.
Oh, nice.
She's been a guest on Hits and Heels. She has the best book if you want to learn football.
Okay.
I mean, it's a real quick. I don't know why I don't have one right here. Sorry, Natasha. Um, I don't have it right here because it is off the chain. It's a real quick read, and it's really,
Uh,
really good if you want to
Look, I
learn
want to
football.
know. I definitely want to know the name of it.
Yes, I will. I'm gonna text my husband and have him bring that up. Um, Oh, Mr. Brown is probably my all-time favorite supporter for Hits and Heels. And he's asking, are the flags draped on the hips, a specified length?
Yes, we all have standardized flags that we use. My ladies use triple threat flags, so that's the flags with the three flags on the belt. You can just
Hmm.
snatch it off. But women and men who play fives, they have pop flags where it's just two flags on the side and they actually
Hmm.
pop out. So, but they are standardized at a specific length.
So are those the flags that are recommended by your governing entity?
So yes, because it depends on what style you're playing. So my
Okay.
ladies play eight women's contact, so they use the triple threat flags. But if they're playing fives, they use the pop flags.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
it's funny whenever I have a tournament, they're like, "Okay, which flags are we using?" So I have to make sure I specify what we're gonna do. So
Okay. That's good stuff. Um, Sasha Riley, this is actually Coach Pat. She is actually the CEO of the DC Divas,
oh,
a,
nice.
a women's tackle football team out of
Mhm.
DC. She's
Yep, I'm
also the office
familiar.
coordinator. Yes, and she's also been a guest on Hits and Heels, and I'm hoping to see her on the 29th. She said, "How did you develop your players of your flag players versus your tackle players?" So you don't do tackle, but I know for flag, the first thing if they're coming from flag to tackle,
Mhm.
the first thing we do is see if they can take a hit or give a hit. If they're scared to hit, then don't come out here wasting y'all time because if you can't take a hit or if you don't want to hit, just stick with flag.
Well, the great thing about my ladies, like I said, some of them actually play both, because they're used to some level of contact. They're
Hmm.
very tough, and I think the development absolutely starts mentally first, because
Absolutely,
you cannot come
the
out
game
there
is mental.
afraid. You cannot come out there scared, and you have to be confident. And also, you can't count yourself out. Some people get out there and they're nervous maybe because they're small, but some of our smallest players are the toughest ones on the field because it's all about that mindset. But also, I think just the conditioning is very important. For at least for flag, our ladies are constantly in the gym. They're doing weights, they're doing the cardio, they're doing all those things physically. Because when you have a lineman in front of you, you got to be able to handle them so your quarterback can do their job. And I think it's the
Absolutely.
same thing in tackle. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I think really it's just the mentality of I'm about to get out here and handle business. Period. You
I think
know.
when I'm coaching, one of the biggest things that I always stress in our huddle every day is the game is mental.
Hmm.
I got that from my husband. My husband really just taught that, and we really hone that even with our middle school
Hmm.
players that we coach. Is the game starts mental. It's mental first. And
Hmm.
oh yeah, she did say I will see her in Canton. I can't wait to see her in Canton. So and I think y'all's owner of Raleigh
Hmm.
Express.
Yeah.
I've spoken to her as well,
Okay.
and
Good.
we're supposed to
Good.
meet. And I think
Yeah.
I've invited her on, and I think we're trying to do a live show in Canton with
Nice.
well, I'll be able to interview
So
her. So
I think
I'm looking for
yeah,
I'm
we
looking forward
definitely
to.
have some All Americans that'll be going from
Mhm.
North Carolina. So
That's good stuff. And so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And so Mr. Brown is saying, what are you saying? I would assume that the runners must slap the pursuing defender's hand away to avoid them taking the flag. How does that? Yeah,
No,
I'm
so
like you, Miss.
there is no hand slapping.
Ooh,
That would be called flat guarding.
okay.
So
Well, that's a
I
penalty.
yes, that is a penalty. So our players have to learn to work those hips. You got to be able to move fast, and you got to be able to swivel those hips. Because you definitely don't want anybody to get your flag, but you cannot flag guard. You can't. Yes, flag guarding. So you cannot do that, but you better learn how to work those hips and work. Move through that crowd. So definitely no hand slapping.
Oh my goodness, that is so good. Okay, so what how did you secure the funding?
Well,
Can we talk about that?
we can talk about it
Because
because
it's got to be something that's important.
listen, let me tell you, I love what I do. Okay. I'm going to put that out there. I love it because I see the mental aspects of it. We have a running joke that flag football saves lives
It does.
because it is the outlet for so many people. And that's what makes me do this job, in that I know that it is the mental stability, it is the outlet, it is the getaway from everyday life. And what makes any sport so beautiful is that you have people from all walks of life. You have your mothers, your teachers, your lawyers, your doctors, all these different people. But once you put on that uniform, you become a unit. You are an athlete at that time. And so, what I've come to learn as I develop relationships with these players is that flag football is all they have, right? You go to work every day, you're raising your family, you're dealing with your partners, all these different things. But flag football is where you can come and let it all out and legally leave your anger on the field. So I do this because I love the benefits. I love the community of it. Therefore, I put my money where my mouth is. So we do charge team fees, which helps supplement, but it doesn't cover everything.
Right.
So, of course, with my organization, we definitely advertise for small businesses. Some of our athletes are entrepreneurs, so some of them become sponsors because we basically do a commercial for your business every week. We
Right.
do social media reels. We do all these things. We put you on our flyers, our website, and so those monies help fund the vision. So also we are, fortunately, we have the benefit of partnering with some local sports organizations who they may not cover the cost, but just having that connection helps.
Absolutely.
When I need a field, they can say a good word on my behalf. So definitely, I spend a bit of change out my pocket, but I love it. And for me, it is a business, so I can do the tax write off and things like
Absolutely.
that. But I am definitely pushing for sponsors because I want to be able to sustain the business. And to be able to do that, I need money. So,
Right.
it does cost, but I'm grateful that I haven't gone hungry. That every season we have a field to play on. Every season, all my officials get paid. Nobody can say I owe them money. And I do a little extra because I try to pay the media team, which costs. But I feel like that exposure is everything because people need to know we exist. And so, I make some sacrifices, but it's worth it to me. It's really an investment in the lives of people, and which is why I'm here, as a leader, which is why I chose to even step into this position. So yeah, make it happen.
I say that all the time when I'm telling my story that sports saved my life. And then I've learned it even with, and I say the same thing with my women with the tackle. Hey, you can legally come out here and hurt somebody or hit somebody. Just pretend that they're somebody you are mad at and take it
Yes,
out on them on the field.
yes,
Just
yes.
don't do it in practice with your teammates and
Right.
hurt your teammates. But legally, you can literally just,
Yeah.
put all that frustration out on the field.
Right.
And that's what I love about tackle, because
But
you
the
literally can put your hands on people.
right.
Right.
But the
And so,
thing
and
is, you got to keep those emotions under control.
you have
Yes. Oh
to,
my gosh.
because a personal, um, a personal penalty at the wrong time, an unsportsmanlike penalty at the wrong time can just really,
Exactly.
really hurt you.
It
And
steals the
so,
game. I mean, it
yeah,
ruins
and
it.
it can steal the game for it, and it can kill the momentum. And
Yes,
so you still have to be
absolutely.
under control. Yeah, you definitely still have to keep but the
Yes.
game is definitely mental, and it's probably the number one thing. So I have a friend down in North Carolina, and she's been on my podcast as well, and she's a sports psychologist. She's actually came and spoke to my team. And so, and I think she's trying to start a program even where she's at.
Uh-huh.
She's not in Raleigh though. She's in a different city from
Oh,
where
what's
you
the
are. I have to find
name?
out where she's at, but I need to make sure I connect you and Dr. Coffee.
Oh,
Um,
listen, I just had her on my
you
show
know,
Monday. I met her at the same event that I met Monique.
no way. It's a
Yes.
small world. It's a small world.
Yes.
Isn't she not amazing?
She is absolutely amazing. Yeah, we literally just had her on the
Just
show
have
on
just
Monday.
had a talk. Okay,
Yep.
good. Well, look, I don't have to do it. Y'all already have met. And so
Yep.
and so I love how that right there, the whole community, the sports community, I love how we share. Again,
Hmm.
we were both connected with Monique, and Monique tagged me in your post about
Yes.
your girls flag
Hmm.
tournament, and then we instantly connected, of course,
Yes.
and here we are. And then it's so good to know that you've already met Dr. Coffee, because
Yes.
again, she has been a great resource for me and my team. At the beginning of our season, we did a
Hmm.
Zoom with her, and she was able to do a Q&A. And because we had some that had made, it's tackle. So we've
Oh
had some
yeah.
girls that are coming back from some major injuries. And so
Oh
that
yeah.
mental block
Yes, you have
is
to get
no
through
joke,
it.
is
Yeah.
no joke. And so she definitely was a great help for me and my team. And
Yes.
and not, whenever she has questions about something, she'll, we'll chop it up. And so I love the community that we have and that we're establishing. I can't wait to meet the
Star.
owner of
Hmm.
Star. That's it, Star. I
Yes.
can't wait to meet Star. But Star and I have talked, and we're gonna meet in Canton, just like I'm gonna meet Coach Pat. She was on my show, and I get to meet them in person. And so I'm
Okay.
going to Canton, just so that I can meet them in person, even though
Yes.
we're not playing. But I do have some of my girls that are going to be playing in the All American game. So
Right.
also, let's talk about Mr. Brown has a question about the playing style. Are the offensive plays heavy passing plays, or a combination of both run and pass plays?
Definitely a combination of both. We have definitely very skilled players, and they do both. They do both depending on their opponent. They definitely. I like to say our coaches are masterminds, in studying their opponent and getting those playbooks together. And so you have to have the combination of both to have a really good flag football game.
Good stuff. So, what has been the most rewarding part of it so far?
The most rewarding part for me is, I guess it's two things. One is creating a culture where women can just be athletes, right? Because you hear so many people say, well, when I was a little girl, I couldn't play football. Or, just my dad wouldn't let me play, or my mom made me be a cheerleader. Which, of course, cheerleading is a
Cheerleading is
sport.
probably the hardest
Child,
sport out of
listen,
all of them. You
yes,
can't really, you can't discount
yeah,
cheerleading.
you can't. But just to create a safe space where they can come and play. And I love it when I show up on Sundays. And it's thundering outside here, so if you hear it, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I love that when I show up on Sundays, it's like a family reunion almost every
Mhm.
Sunday. It's the culture, and where we play, it has a little park where the kids can go play. And, the mom can suit up and play and not worry about her child. It's really a community. That's very rewarding that I'm able to orchestrate that. Of course, we have drama because our families have drama,
Of course,
but
we all do.
we all do. But I love that they can come, they can play, they can let their stress out. I mean, and it's so funny because once the games are over, nobody wants to go home. And I'm like, y'all
I
have
gotta
to
turn
go
these
home
lights
because
out.
y'all got to get up out of here. So I love that. But then also, really probably the more rewarding part is the conversations with the players where they say, thank you. This is all that I have. This is, if I can't play, I don't know what
We don't
I'll
have
do.
nothing else.
Yeah, and so it's rewarding. It makes me kind of emotional because it's like you can't take it for granted, you know.
Yeah.
And so just to hear people say, this is my world, and to see how the teams, they hang out together. They, you see bridal showers, baby showers, weddings,
Yeah.
all these different things, but it's really a community. So to be able to be the person to make that happen, that is very rewarding for me.
Yeah, in our group, our owner for the Derby City Dynamite, she just suggested to start a flag team,
Oh
just to
wow.
kind of keep the team together and to have that
Hmm.
camaraderie outside of our season.
Yeah.
What we have a personal trainer on our team, and she's already done started a off season training program for the
Hmm.
team, and because we're ready to go. I mean, we were
Yeah.
just right there this past season. And, and I think a lot of it just came down to conditioning. We went to
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma City with 19 girls, and it
Wow.
was 100 degrees. So you can
Wow.
imagine
It was hot.
it
Oh
was
my
hot,
God.
and we're not used to that type of heat. So we had people, in the second half started cramping up, and
Oh yeah.
we had a lot of players that had to play both sides of the ball, and so
Oof,
their level of
that
conditioning had to be
that is tough.
top notch that day. And
Yes.
and if we didn't have those circumstances, I think we could have had a different outlook. Even the coach said, he was like, if y'all had y'all full team, we wouldn't
Right.
have beat y'all. And it was so true. Because everybody wasn't able to make that I think it's like a 700
Oh yeah.
mile trek.
Wow.
I flew because I couldn't do it, but I flew. A lot of us flew
Yeah.
in, and but we had a large group that drove a van and then had to
Wow.
drive it back, and it took a while for them to get back. So what is your data? So you said your day-to-day operations with, because so on our team, my husband is the head coach and he does everything. So I try to take the admin part of it off of his
The plate.
shoulders so
Hmm.
that he could just coach. I just want my
Right.
husband to just show up to just coach because I was the previous head coach. And so I know what the day-to-day operation, but for us, we're the same way with you are. We have to line our own field. We have to pull the cones and everything out, on game days.
Yeah.
And it's no joke.
Right.
My husband just had two two knee replacements.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he in the last couple of years, he's lining the field with some tore up knees. And so people just don't understand,
Yeah.
but it had to be done because there was nobody else that was going to do it. And so um how was your support system in that area as far as being able to get people to come in and support? Do you have like a CEO? Do you have like a president, or I don't know what what you might call them, but do you have a staff?
Okay, yes, I have a tiny team, but we do big things together. So actually just this spring I brought in a deputy commissioner to help with the management. And he's a former coach, and he's worked with flag and tackle, which almost immediately that was helpful because we had a women's tackle team that wanted to play flag during their off season. So they played with
Mm-hmm.
us in the spring. Um, but I have a deputy commissioner who helps with day-to-day operations, and then I have a social media manager. And those two together are lifesavers. I do have a coach who helps line the fields because although I know how to, I prefer not to.
Come on.
so, so
I only
I
help
get
my husband when
somebody.
I absolutely have to.
Yeah. I don't want to do it. I have the equipment and everything. I know how, but I definitely contract that out. But I have a small team, and really, it took a lot for me to add a deputy commissioner because I was so used to just handling stuff. But once we had 11 teams, I said, "There's no way I can do this by myself."
Absolutely.
And it's also nice to have a man on board because he helps kind of relate. Because most of our coaches are men, so it's nice to have him there to communicate man talk because I don't speak man language. I try to communicate effectively, but it's nice to have a man on deck. So definitely, I have my deputy commissioner, my social media manager. She helps us keep all of our social media popping. Like if people follow us on Instagram or Facebook, most of the time she's responsible for the reels. Um, Getting content on the field from the players. She does all of that stuff for me. So she's actually a social media um, teacher. She teaches people how to make money from social media and different things like that. So she's very good. It's Z Global Media. So she's pretty dope. So we all work together just to make stuff happen. We make it happen. And so, of course, with my girls' clinics, I call on the athletes. I say, "Hey, are you free today? Can you help me with this clinic?" So they come in, they help do the drills and, orchestrate the scrimmages and all that kind of stuff. So I have a good group of people. So I'm not in it by myself. I just had to learn to ask for help. I had to ask because, because I manage during my day job. I'm running stuff at work, and so to have them to run stuff at work and then run football stuff, it was getting to be a lot. But I learned to ask for help.
Good for you. I mean, that's good stuff. So what are your plans for your growth and expansion in the upcoming years?
Wow. I actually foresee us being very instrumental in the face of flag football for North Carolina. Um, Number one, like I said, I can speak for me, vouch for me, and know that we are here to really serve the people, to empower our players, and to really be a safe space for them. And so I envision having a baller's choice arm in different counties of North Carolina, as well as I want to create a travel team, maybe more than one eventually, of high school girls so we can go to tournaments and things like that. Um, Eventually, I hope to have my own field because that is the hottest commodity
Woo!
ever.
The hottest ever.
And it's challenging because
That's
our
what me and
area.
Dr. Coffee talked about getting her own field. She's got her own building gym, and I was
Yeah,
like, "Girl, get you a
I'm
field."
telling you, because like between soccer, like sports are so popular here. It is, I mean, I have like, our season doesn't start until September. I already had to submit paperwork for September. I had to submit it in June.
Before someone else
Yes. So I
occupies
mean,
the
we
dates
have a
that you need.
whole
Yeah.
lottery. There's a whole lottery situation, all
Oh
these
no.
different things. So it's that was very tough. And then in our area, so I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, but there's amazing fields in connecting towns, but they charge me double because I don't live there. So it's crazy. So yeah, definitely a field is in on the radar. But yeah, I think we're just beginning, and with flag football being the fastest growing sport and being played in over 100 countries, going to the Olympics, we're just beginning. So I'm looking forward to developing more relationships like the one I developed with you, and just really making it grow, because the girls deserve to play. They deserve to play. If they want to play, we need to make it so that they
You
can,
need to
whether
make
it's
it
flag
happen.
or a
That
tackle,
they can.
just make it
Yeah.
happen. So yeah, I think the future is very bright.
And with Title IX, with NCAA schools having to, because football takes up so many positions,
Yeah.
because of Title IX, schools have to kind of match that. And so they have a hard time finding sports. And I think flag is going to be that thing
Oh
that's
yeah.
going to start coming up. I was so excited when I found out that Campbellsville University here in Kentucky has flag football. I've already talked to the coach. I told him I wanted to recruit his players. He started laughing,
Like,
and
no, I'm
so
serious. Like, I'm
yes,
serious.
I'm
I'm
dead,
serious.
serious. Yeah, like I am dead serious that
This
I
is
want
not
to
a
recruit your
game.
players. I'm not even playing with you. Yes, absolutely. And so because and the reason why I say that is because Mr. Brown just brought a big thing up right there. He said, I know it's forbidden etiquette to inquire into women's age, but how old is your oldest player? My oldest player on my team is 51 years old.
Yes, we.
I have an outside linebacker that's 41. I have a tight end and a defensive lineman that's 46. And so we've got to get some of these younger girls in because they're not going to be. Matter of fact, a couple of them have already said, I'm done.
Yes.
Terry, don't ask me to play. Don't ask me to come back next year. And so I have to be able to replace them with some
Exactly. But that's why the
younger
high
girls.
schoolers is so important.
Yes,
I think our oldest player has been 55,
I
and our
love it.
youngest, we allow them to start at 16 with the parental waiver.
Okay.
But the reason I'm motivated to deal with the high school girls is because I want them to be able to learn the game, to really develop before they get out there and play with the women.
Yes.
So I want them to be able to grow, to learn the sport, to get comfortable, and really just mature as athletes before they actually go full-fledged flag. Now, some of them are ready to go because they've been playing sports all their life. So they're ready to jump right in there. So I want to have a place for both. Where you have your newbies who are still a little scared, like, oh, don't touch me, oh, I'm scared of the ball. And just to have a place for them to actually grow and mature and then move up to the next level. So that's why I'm kind of branching out to youth sports as well. And also, people's knees and backs are going bad. the knees
Yes.
the knees. I mean, I'm past mid 40
They
now,
was
so
telling me,
I
they was like,
totally
Coach, you're gonna have to
understand.
suit up. When we went to Oklahoma City, they was like, Coach, we're gonna have to suit you up. I said, ain't no freaking
Ain't
way.
no way. I'm telling you.
I've had my ACL
Oh
repaired on
no.
both knees. And in 2005, they took the hardware out of my left one. He said, stop playing. Like that's that.
Yeah.
And I still played softball a couple of more years, even in my early 40s. I still played softball. And actually the only reason why I stopped playing was because my son was always doing travel ball and I
Yeah.
just didn't have time. So that actually kind of saved me from continuing to play. But girl,
Telling
no,
you,
I'm
the athletes,
not.
they are crazy. Like the first, because I did contemplate playing, because I was working out with a trainer, I ran it, we
Yeah.
did drills. He was a coach, so I was prepared to play, honestly. But the first injury I saw, it was a total freak accident on the field. and the girl fell and her bone came through her leg. And I said, you know what? No, thank you.
No.
And you know what she said? I'm okay. I'll be
Oh
back
my.
next season. No, ma'am. Your bone is hanging out.
And you
sure
know what?
enough, she recovered and
We've
came
had
back.
some that's had major. I don't think they haven't been where the bones come out, but they definitely have fractured major fractures, and
Yes,
it's taken
and
them.
come
There's
back.
a couple of girls I know. It's been like 2 years, and you know, and they try to come back, and then they run on it, or they get it taped up, and then they're like, "Oh my God, I just can't get it together," and I just feel so sorry for them because I know how it was for me when I finally couldn't step out on the court anymore because I played basketball. I still played basketball. I was
Yeah.
4 months pregnant, still playing basketball because you couldn't tell that I was pregnant, but I was always in good shape.
Right.
You know, but it was tough for me to play to give up playing ball,
Yes.
and then I
Very
still was
addictive.
able to play softball, and so I like that. But I love being able to transition these girls that played basketball and softball and
Mhm.
volleyball and other sports, and bringing them over to flag, and
Yeah,
then
those are the best
hopefully,
recruits.
yes, and hopefully bringing them over
Tackle.
to tackle as well,
Mhm.
because again, some of them are like me where you just fall in love with the, you know, love with the sports. It
Mhm.
saves their life. It gives them
Yeah.
an outlet, and you know, it's my whole world. I was so glad when I met my husband, who was a football coach and a
Mhm.
baseball coach, because that was like, woo, everybody was like, how y'all get together? That was too easy because I love football.
Right. Because listen, trust me, I've been there where they are not studying sports. That was a problem because flag football
Uh,
was my life. It's what I do. So I can't choose. Like you gotta
yeah,
like it or you gotta support me or
you gotta support me, or you gotta go. You gotta go.
yeah, you gotta
Now,
go.
I love this question about Mr. Brown. He said, "How engaged are husbands and significant others in the games?" He said, "I can and imagine the emotional impact." That's so support is so important.
It's very
Are you
important.
guys getting nice crowds?
Yes, yes. The husbands are out there screaming. The significant others are out there screaming. I mean, they're carrying the equipment, all these things. They're very, very supportive. It's a family outing.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, typically we don't play on like Mother's Day and Father's Day. They're like, no, we want to play because they want to be at the field.
right.
But definitely they're very supportive. I think they're sometimes concerned about injury and
Of
stuff like
course.
that. But a lot of these women have been playing some type of sport their whole life. So
Hmm.
it's just a part of the game. It's the risk that you take. Um, but like I said, they get hurt, they come right back out. They are bandaged
Mine
up,
do
they're on the
too.
sidelines,
I
just
mean, there's some of them. I'm like, if you don't
waiting
go
to
sit
quit.
down somewhere, no, no,
I'm like, did
go
your doctor
sit
release
down.
you? Did your doctor say
Yeah,
it's okay?
yes. Did your doctor? You know, we have a team doctor, and I'm like, did Marie release you?
Right.
You know, and so, oh
Yeah.
yeah, because
But
it
yeah,
is, and they'll do whatever they can do. And I'm like, and I have to tell them, your health comes first.
it
I said,
does.
I understand we want to win, we need you, but your health always has to come
Right. You
first
need to be able to
before
go to
this
work
game.
tomorrow. I
You
need
got
you
to
to
be
be
able
able
to
to
go
go
to
to work.
work. Y'all can't be off work because you done got injured. Yeah, women's
I have
sports
some
definitely
players.
builds community.
Look, I have some players who they said that their coworkers sometimes think they're being abused because they come in with so many bruises. And so they have to say, no, I play football. So really just clarify because people be concerned.
Oh
But
yeah,
definitely the significant others are very supportive. They're the main cheerleaders most of the time.
I love it. I love it, Mr. Brown. You're too nice. He says I've introduced our viewers to many sisters that has an interest in sports,
Oh, nice.
and they're all brilliant. Oh, and I see my Uncle Dale on there. Hey, Uncle Dale. My Uncle Dale played football at Alabama State back in the
Oh,
day.
nice.
Yeah. So Oh, girl, it's already 54 minutes.
I know, I'm like, it's time to
We
go.
was worried about whether or not we was gonna go
I'm
out.
telling you, I was worried.
What I told you, we was nervous about it. We was like, girl, we'll figure it out because y'all know I don't use a script. We just sit here and wing it. So what has been the biggest what has been the biggest challenge or opportunity?
Challenge or opportunity?
I'm gonna say, like what is the biggest thing you've had to overcome? So if I'm looking to start a league, what do I need to be mindful of, or what do I need to look forward to being one of my biggest challenges?
So a couple of things. Number one, as a woman, dealing with the good old boys clubs, um,
Absolutely.
because they have a whole network, and
Yes.
so you have to be willing to stand up for yourself and really carve your own path, honestly, because they don't make room for you.
At
And
all.
fortunately, I have good connections, I have good coaches and everything, but I still have to make my way because they're so used to doing things a certain way. And then here comes this little woman taking over stuff. So definitely I would say be prepared for the opposition and be confident in your purpose. Because for me, my first season, I was so nervous.
I bet.
Because I faced a lot of opposition because number one, I came from behind the scenes to actually being up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but because I didn't play, because I didn't know all the rules, I really wasn't sure if I was qualified, right, for
Right.
this job. However, I'd been doing it behind the scenes for a long time, but I just didn't believe in myself. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had to really um it was really that self-talk, that positive self-talk of, Maria, you can do this. You are going to do this. And ask for help, all these different things to build my confidence. And so be prepared for opposition, even from other women, other people who don't get it. People
Ooh.
just don't get it. Like I said, I was never an athlete. I mean, I'm a singer. I do theater. I don't play outside. Yeah, that's not my thing. I just happen to fall in love with the game. And so people don't get it. Your family doesn't understand why you have to be on the football field every Sunday for hours and hours at a time. People just don't get it because it is a life adjustment. But when you're passionate about something, it is what it is. And so you have to work through those things and just be confident in what you're doing and really work to build a support system. It took me a while because I needed to know, who can I trust.
Yes.
I needed to know
Who was gonna try to sabotage you?
exactly. I need to know who has my back. When the rubber meets the road, when I'm not in the room, who is going to look out for me? And
Right.
and it takes some time to really develop that discernment, really, and
Mm-hmm.
then just to be able to keep pushing. Like the difficulty finding fields. I mean, you need to know. You need insurance. All that kind of stuff. That is important stuff that you need to know, which I didn't even know about the insurance until I
Insurance
started
part.
this and tried to reserve a field. And they were like, well, I need your
What
insurance.
insurance information? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so really it's just those little pieces that you need to know. And really, my biggest thing is being confident in who you are, why you do what you do. And things begin to fall into place. Like now people come to me, I was nervous about being, the kind of the new girl on the block, but people see what you do, and when your intentions are good, when you have a purpose, people will come to you. And so you have to just stay focused and do what you got to do and really not give up, because I cannot lie, I cried some tears. I cried because I was like, Lord, how am I pay
It's
for this?
overwhelming.
Yes, it's overwhelming because everybody is pulling on you. When is the schedule coming out? Where is the
Yeah.
game going to be? a team got a forfeit. I had a head official resign on me in the middle of the season. Like it's just different things happen, but
Right.
you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing. And things fall in line. I promise you. If you are putting good out, good is going to come back to you. I am a firm believer of that.
I
So
believe that.
yeah, so
I
that
believe that.
it's just being able to push through opposition and just hang in there. Period.
Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Who's your favorite NFL team and NFL player?
Honestly, I have to say, don't y'all judge me. Charlotte, North Carolina is my hometown. So I am a Panthers fan, ride or die. I know they have challenging seasons, but I'm a ride or
I
die
was at
fan.
the Dallas game
Oh, really? Nice.
this past season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, and I know Cam is not playing, but Cam is still my guy. I love Cam.
Okay.
I can't help it. Um, I do like watching the 49ers, stuff like that, but I'm a
My
diehard.
husband's team.
Really. Yeah, but I'm a Panthers fan. I'm loyal to a fault.
That's okay. I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah. So you know how we got the biggest haters against
Oh,
us.
yes,
So
I do. My dad's
the
friend is
biggest haters. Lord have mercy. Yes. So
yes.
okay. Do you have a favorite success story?
A favorite success story. Let's see. Honestly, I think my favorite success story had to be, okay. So one was my very first girls clinic. I just, and this was before it was even introduced to the high schools. This was last year. And I just, it was just something that I had to do. And I think we ended up with maybe 20 girls. And I had a mother come up to me and say her daughter was in such awe to see women football players because where she played as a little girl is all boys.
All boys.
So to be able to come and see women play really changed that little girl's life. You know, and so that for me that was a big success because to shift her perspective to say I'm not in the world alone. There's other people like me. There's other girls who are playing football, and I can grow up and be a woman who plays football. That was a great success story for me. And then recently, I hosted the Body Armor State Games. I was able to partner with that
Oh, that's
organization,
big.
and yeah, so yeah, they had never had flag football before. Under the North Carolina Amateur Sports Body Armor State Games, it's a multi-sport festival. They work with over 30 sports and they never had flag before. So this year, my organization was able to partner with them and introduce flag football to the Body Armor State Games. And it's so crazy because like I said, Charlotte is my hometown. And I just remember driving downtown Charlotte and seeing a little sign on a pole that said Body Armor State Games. And I wrote the number down. I said, I'm going to call these people. And that was last summer. And to go from seeing their sign on a pole in Charlotte to hosting a tournament there, that was like mind blowing to me. I'm actually still trying to get past like, oh my God, I really did it. So
I'm
yeah,
proud of
that's
you.
my other success story. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Okay, so last thing, is there anything that you've ever wanted to, because you do theater and you this isn't your first rodeo on live, but is there anything that you've ever wanted to say publicly in this type of setting that you have never had the opportunity to say and would like to address it at this point? Or I don't know. I think that's it.
Something that I have never said.
Never said that you would like to address publicly that you've never or is there a question that I didn't ask that you would like to answer that is important for you to answer?
This is a really good question. I I don't know. I think if anything, it would be an encouragement for somebody. Because I grew up in public housing, right? And I had a tumultuous childhood. And I think I want to say to somebody that regardless of what your background was, regardless of what happened to you, regardless of what you did or didn't do, what your parents did or didn't do, you are enough and you are able to accomplish what other people say is impossible. And I am a testimony of that. Truly. I think so many times we count ourselves out because we think our background is jacked up. We've done too much. We've not done enough. I still sometimes second guess myself because I need to
Yep.
be in those rule books even more. But it's okay to be perfectly imperfect. If you have a dream or a vision, go for that thing. If you thinking about it every day, you can't sleep, you just do it. Like, you'll never be ready. I posted a quote the other day that says you don't have to be ready, you just have to be courageous. So that's what I would say.
I love it. I love it. So listen, thank you so much for coming on and dropping all these nuggets, introducing you to my tribe. I hope that I'm calling you and being like, okay, where do I get this paperwork and stuff like that, so that I can
Right.
start our our league here in Lexington, or I think we do have one in Louisville already. Now I think they are kind of doing some camps, but it's an hour away.
Oh
So I
wow.
know, it's difficult for parents to want to drive an hour away for their
Yeah.
girls to participate in flag. So we definitely, it's definitely something that people have already brought to my attention that they want me to kind of
Get
be
on
in the, yeah,
it.
in the spirit. And I love that because I am the only female football coach here in Lexington. I was the first female football coach in our district, but I would not be where I was if, again, you talking about that good old boy system. I was joking around with a coach a couple of years ago. Can I be on his staff? He just laughed me off and didn't take me serious at
I'm
all.
telling you, they will people will discount you.
And then when my husband brought me on his staff, they thought it was a gimmick. And then, here we are getting ready to start seasons. Matter of fact, we got a parent meeting tomorrow. We start our season, our conditioning on Monday.
Oh
And
wow.
it's getting ready to be our sixth season together. And in 5 seasons, we've been to 3 championship games. And, we're looking to get over that
Wow.
hump. But we got 2 undefeated seasons, regular seasons,
Yeah.
and we still get to the championship game. So we're doing something right. We have a
Oh
winning
yeah.
record. And oh my God, yesterday, one of our kids that played quarterback from us just got an offer from a college. And so that's what it's all about. When our kids start getting
Oh yeah.
offers, then
Oh
we know
yeah.
that we're doing something right as far as developing them on on the middle
Yeah.
school level and
Yes.
preparing them for high school. And what my husband does is, what I love so much about him is he's a high school coach, but we're coaching middle school. And so he's like, I'm preparing you for high school. I'm not coaching you for middle school. I'm coaching
Yeah.
you for high school. And so when
Yeah.
my kids go to the next level, our kids are prepared, and we love
Oh
hearing
yeah.
from our local coaches and them thanking us for the preparation that we have instilled in our kids. And so it's so rewarding. But thank you so much again. You are so inspirational. Of course, I'm so glad that Monique connected us. Of
Yes.
course, we're thick as thieves for the rest of our lives, as long as because this isn't going
Yes.
to go anywhere. And I'm definitely, whatever I can do to support you on this end, definitely let me know. Yeah, we'll have to get you out the championship weekend. Because I told Dr. Coffee I got to figure out how to meet her in person.
I'm
Um,
telling you,
she,
she is a powerhouse.
she is
We
a
yeah, yeah.
powerhouse. Do you hear me?
Look,
I'm gonna
she and
remind
I
me, and I'll
were
send you the link when I interviewed her on my podcast. She
Okay.
is powerful. And
Excuse
so
me.
okay, so I'm gonna end the stream,
Okay.
but don't log off.
Okay.
So everybody, thank y'all
Yes,
so
thank
much for
you.
coming in, Mr. Brown, Uncle Dale. I'm trying to think, Coach Pap, um, Nikki, Natasha, and everybody else that I can't. If y'all don't make a comment on here, I have no
Right.
idea who's watching. So, but for those that made yourself known, thank you all for tuning in and coming in. Thank you all for those that share and continue to support me. This is episode 98. Oh my God. So I'm trying to think about what I'm going to do for episode 100.
You got to make it
So
big. It's got to
it's
be
going to have to
big.
be big. And then I think next week, every week is good. I don't think I've ever had of 98 episodes. I can't think of one episode that I didn't think was absolutely fantastic. And this was another one. So again, Maria, thank you for coming on. Don't log off, but
Okay.
for those of y'all that know, I'm on the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice.
And so our gala is coming up on September the 21st. That's on a Saturday. And you can go to laceoff.com and make sure you get your ticket. So we have some phenomenal people that are being inducted into our Hall of Fame. So Maria, we had to start our own Hall of Fame because we had people that probably should have gotten recognized by other Hall of Fames and never did. And so we created our own Hall of Fame so that we could recognize the people that should have gotten inducted. And so we've had several people that once we inducted them, then the bigger Hall of Fames kind of came back and piggybacked and picked them up.
Wow.
Really, y'all should have already had them pick them up in
Exactly.
y'all's Hall of Fame. So so that's probably one of my biggest projects that I've been involved with that I absolutely love and adore. Uncle Dale, thank you. Mr. Brown, thank you. And I'll see y'all next week.
Yes. Have a good
Don't log
night.
off.
Okay.
Good night.